Bradford. Thanks for joining us. Great to have you on. Now, Federica Mogherini, the EU foreign policy chief, said the implementation of that deal was a strategic move for security in the whole region, in Europe as well. Why do you think the US disagrees with that?
It is extremely difficult to make sense of what is really happening at the moment in the White House. In 2015, when that deal was reached, in every sense of the term, it was a historic deal. It took Iran and the international community almost a decade to reach that consensus. And of course, every single party had to compromise, and it wasn't actually that easy to reach that agreement. And about 15 or 16 months ago, when Donald Trump was still busy with his kind of electoral campaign, he regarded the deal as the worst deal in history, and he pledged to tear it apart as soon as he reaches the corridors of power. But at the time, even he himself did not believe that he has a realistic chance of winning the election. And after actually winning the election, a lot of people kind of assumed that probably he's going to kind of reconsider his pledge. But in fact, actually, day after day, week after week, month after month, he kept repeating the same thing. This is the worst deal in human history. And effectively, he has created a situation that is between the devil and the deep blue sea. Because once you repeat something time and time and time again, it is extremely difficult to kind of reconsider your decision. Because even if he kind of reconsiders his decision tomorrow, it's going to have some internal kind of consequences for him. But in terms of kind of the actual deal working, it is not only about what she's saying. This is what is being kind of reflected by every important actor in the international community. We're talking about the United Nations, we're talking about the EU, we're talking about Russia, China, Britain, France, Germany. And it seems that Donald Trump, along Israel and Saudi Arabia, are the only parties who assume that actually this deal is not good for the regional and the international security.
There's a bit of a split there, isn't there, between the countries that are implementing this deal. But I mean, in terms of looking into the future, if the EU does have to implement this without the US is sidelined, what impact could that have on US-EU relations?
I think what we see at the moment, we see a historic drift between the United States and the EU. We never ever seen such a gap, such distance between the EU and the US, at least over the last 30 or 40 years. What happened today in Brussels was really interesting. Effectively, every important player in the EU defied the verdicts of President Trump, defied what he has in mind, and they said, actually, this is the best we could achieve, and if you really, the man of your words, suggest something even better. And I very much doubt it within the next 24 hours, Donald Trump and his team will be able to offer a better solution or a better alternative. And without any doubt, if kind of Donald Trump breaches the deal, there will be some serious consequences, not only for kind of the relations between Iran and the West, but actually for the wider international community. How can you have a meaningful negotiation with North Korea at the moment if you're going to breach basically this historic deal? Sure. There will be some serious consequences, not only for North Korea, but as I mentioned, for the rest of the international community and the future of international law.
Okay, that was Dr. Afshin Shahi, Professor in International Relations and Middle East Politics at the University of Bradford. Great to get your take on that ongoing story here today on RT.